Oh, that's nice. Oh, yeah, a Christmas card. I'm not sure whether it's late from last year or early for this year, but whatever. Thank you very much, Rebecca. So Christmas is approaching. It's time to show what we've got for this year's Christmas pack. A good range of them too, and we always like to have a Christmas card of some sort, so I've chosen a particularly clever one, this, which I found at trade fairs. You open the pack, and then up pops Santa Claus. What a lovely idea. Little elastic bands inside, and it pops up. Probably almost makes the thing pop open like that. And I always also like to include a balloon with the cards. And this one here is a very unusual one because it's a self-inflating balloon. Yeah, self-inflating. Take it out of the package. There's nothing to blow. You don't use any breath in this. You just have to put the little clip on that front, which is a stick, which is going to hold it up when it's done. To make it work, this is a clever bit. You feel in the little compartment here where there's a little bulge here, and that's got a little tiny sachet of water in it, outside of which is powders which give off CO2 when the water mixes them. So you squeeze it and, oh, there we are. And you shake it about a bit, and it's starting to inflate already. Can you see it's getting fatter and fatter and fatter? And I'll leave it there quietly inflating while I show you some more things. But when they're inflated, they say that for months, and I can confirm that. I've had one in the summertime, and it's still completely full and hard and fully inflated. Very nice indeed. So that's in the first two items in the Christmas pack. This is something I've wanted to get for a long time. I've got about 6 or 7 of these in my collection, but this is the best one. It's one of those paper swords or lasers, they call them, like that. You know, it flips out like that. This one, though, they call, a lovely name, it's called A Thing You Fling. There we are, A Thing You Fling. Lovely name for it. And the name of the company, Stupid Idiotic, is even better, I think. What's fun about this is there's batteries inside here, and when you squeeze the button, it inflates. And then each time you do it, well, that's good. It does the same sound 3 times and then moves on to another sound. And there's, oh, that's a nice one. Rude too. There's 12 sounds altogether. When I first got this about 30 years ago, I remember trying to do a sword swallowing action like this. Oh, well, and so on. So there's a lot of party play value in this wonderful version of the old laser sword, but they call it The Thing You Fling. That's going to be great fun for parties, I think. Now, coming down to a smaller scale, there's a charming item here from Volta and Prediger, which are little spinning tops, but with ladybirds on them. They spin beautifully too. And to make them spin, either you blow down directly on top of them, or use a little pipe or straw. And they spin very fast, and if you're getting very good at it, possibly you can make the whole field spin as well. So, little ladybirds sitting on spinning daisies, a charming German toy. Meant for small kids, but not too small, because you can't be letting small kids swallow that. It's a very, very pleasing thing to play with, and I think kids will have a lot of fun with that one. Here's an extraordinary one, which I've had for something like this in my collection for many years, usually in the form of glasses. It's a little peephole, but it's got oh, wonderful. I've got lovely diffraction grating effect. So when you look at Christmas tree lights, well, I'll show you the effect. If I hold it up like this, and we'll zoom in on one of these lights there, there's a whole lot of them, and then when I rotate it, all the rainbows start moving back and forward in a very delightful way. So you look at street lights, or fireworks actually, or best of all, Christmas tree lights, and it really enhances their appearance. I love the idea of having a little peep to hold up to your eye to look at rather than wearing glasses with it on. It's somehow more fun to be peeping at things. So the little rainbow peep is a real charm of that. Then there's a lovely nonsense one here, which I found, I think originally over in California, but now there's a British company bringing it in. It's a ballpoint pen, and it's got a, well, they call it a crab claw. I think it's a lobster claw, actually, one of the two. But each time you do that, the ballpoint pen comes out or retracts, and it writes quite nicely too. But I love the idea that each time you're operating, either to switch it on or switch it off, well, you better go and grab it, but don't get grabbed by it, as I say in my instructions. It's a very nicely made version of a mechanical pen, so that's a nice one. There's one here which is actually inside the book. The book doesn't come with it, of course, but it's a clever idea. It's what they call a Fresnel Lens, a good quality magnifying glass, and it really makes things much bigger and smaller. But because it's so flat, it's just got a ribbon to it, it acts as a bookmarker as well. So there, I've got it in the book. At the same time, if there's something small inside, I can use it and magnify and see something a little more clearly. So it's got two purposes, as a magnifying lens and as a bookmark. That's a nice one. There's a very clever little, well, it's becoming quite a fad, I think, amongst kids. It's called a Tumbling Table. It's a Japanese toy originally. It's got a curious shape to it. They're originally made of wood with leather at tops, and it just flops over like that. But the idea is to be quite clever, and as it flops over, you've got to catch it with your finger like that, and then the next finger, and next finger, next finger, and backwards and forwards, and do two flips, and I don't know what else. It's a lot of fun, but it's quite tricky to get that initial flipping action going. And kids, but it has to be done on a hard surface, incidentally. Kids will have a lot of fun playing with this, making lots of clattering sound, but eventually they'll get quite good and skillful at it, making it go back and forward. Some of the videos I'm seeing of people doing this, the tumbling toggle, is amazing. They can do wonderful things with their fingers. So a very simple little Japanese craft toy that came out about 100 years ago is now being relaunched as a tumbling toggle. There's two very interesting postcards here, and they're both lenticular, so I need to move them back and forward. One's panoramic and one's straightforward. They're both actually maps of the world, which is the interesting thing, but look at this. A map of the world, and when I tilt it, it shows 300 million years ago, Pangaea was the last assemblage of the continent into one supercontinent and broke up even before the dinosaurs came in. So they called it a world puzzle. I think it was a nice idea that shows what happened over the next 300 million years, all the oceans drifting apart and the plate tectonics into their present position. And sometime in the next 100 million years, I suppose we'll have another assemblage of the continent. So, and it's a postcard, you can write on the back and send it, but lovely idea of looking at very, very long time ago. The second one, though, is looking into the future, possibly 300 million years' time, but maybe a lot closer. It looks like an ordinary map of the world, nice one, but when you tilt it, it says what happens when the ice melts, when all the oceans rise by about 200 feet, 60 meters. We get all the low countries of Europe, and Florida disappears, great incursion of water into the Amazon basin. Even Central Asia gets the Black Sea flooding into the Caspian and into the Aral Sea. Extraordinary. But someone pointed out that although we'll lose a lot of land and countries, we'll gain Greenland, which will be then the largest island in the world, might become inhabitable again. We might colonize it, and of course the whole of Antarctica, ice-free, so there might be actually a net gain of land when the next heat age comes. It might be millions of years, it might be a few thousand years, I don't know. But two interesting cards of the far distant past and perhaps not too distant future to show and educate and let children think about geography. Now here's a charming one here to finish with. It's one of my favourites. I think it's a happy hat, they call it, and it's one of these things which you have to turn into like a vase. I've done one already to show the effect, but there's a sticky bit down the centre here. When you turn it into a complete jar, this is the effect you get. This is a very colourful one, and that now is a hat to be worn. Well, it's time for Christmas, isn't it? So either I can wear it like this. Oops, get it. Does it suit me? Or squeeze it like that, turn it upside down. It looks like one of those hats that they have in, is it Thailand or something? Or if you like, you can turn the whole thing inside out. I mean, it's really extraordinarily flexible. This thing is an amazingly flexible thing for doing it. This one's got a bit matte because I've had a lot of fun with it, but the idea is to have fun with it. So I'll put it back on my head. And I better have the bloom, which is now blown up. Yep, it's ready, just about. That'll stay up now for about 3 weeks. And I got my little doobry, one of those. And this is what all comes in. A pack with all the instructions and a nice pack. So, I'm ready for Christmas. Are you?